Morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Claudette, and I am your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. Here again. So I'm in a better spirits now. Okay, so it's been what? 2 weeks since the incident of my entry denial into Cancun. And after doing 3 videos on the issue, 3 of them, yeah, I thought I'd just throw together a video offering tips to fellow Jamaicans as to what they can do to avoid being denied entry or to be denied getting a visa if they're going to a visa required entry. I mean, visa required country. Listen to me, I can't bother with the do over, you know. Somebody just have to go on and live it same way, okay? One day I will become the, what do you call it, editing expert, and don't make no mistake, but I'm there. Okay, so here are some tips on how to avoid being denied entry into a country or denied a visa at the embassy. All right, so everybody know that every country has its own entry requirements, and there are some things you must that differ in what you need to do to gain entrance to the country. But here's a list of the first thing that you must do when you're trying to visit someone's country. You need to check the visa requirements. Some countries will allow Jamaicans to enter visa free, like Colombia, Panama, Cuba, and others. There are other countries, though, that require a visa. These include the US, in Canada, some parts of, well, England, some parts of Europe, and other places. That's number one. Number two, you must confirm the validity of your passport. Make sure your passport valid, because if it is not valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel date, some countries will deny you entry. Most of them, if it's not valid. Okay. All right. The next thing you need to do is to know how long you're allowed to stay in the people in country. Research how long they allow you to stay. Even though it's visa free, most countries have a period over which they will grant you stay without any requirements, right? Like in Mexico, it's 6 months. I think in Colombia, it's 3 months, 90 days. I think in Panama, it's also 90 days. All right. The one thing I knew about Mexico is that if you overstayed your visa in Mexico, all you had to do was pay a fine upon leaving. Now, usually, if you stay for a short period, they won't, penalize you. But there are people who was living there when I was there who I knew stayed for 6 months, 8 months over their time, and they just their fine at the airport before leaving at the immigration office, and which would allow them to re-enter when they came back. And they were able to re-enter the country. So this is not a thing. The one thing with Mexico, unless them change it suddenly, probably, which I doubt, is that they do not penalize you for overstaying your visa. Here's the catch: if them catch you while you're overstaying, you're in problem. Okay, if you're caught there without having any papers to stay there, they will catch you. And I do understand that lately they've been stopping buses on the way to Cancun and checking people for their documents. And this includes everybody, right? Now the reality is that most of the expat community in in Mexico is of are black people, right? Is of African descent. Now, this is a whole different video because this involves the black city with all the people that are leaving the US to go to Mexico. So that's another story. This is not what this video is about. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, now, all right, the next thing you need to do is when you are traveling, make sure you have all your travel documents. If you check one time, check 2 times, check 3 times, make sure, put them all together. Make sure you have them in a folder, an envelope, however you want to carry them. Make sure that you have them because it is necessary. The next thing is you must always have a return or onward ticket. Now, this is something because when I presented them with a ticket onto Panama, they denied that, which is now how I knew they were giving me a hassle because they don't care where I go after. It's not, and I need to check that and put something in here. They have no, I mean, once I'm leaving your country, that's it. You don't care where I'm going. So if I'm going to Panama, then it's Panama's problem to figure out where I'm going next, right? So this was another issue. Anyway, all right. So make sure you have a return or onward ticket. Most countries require proof you leave before your visa expires. Accommodation, you must always have your accommodation details. If you have a hotel reservation, make them send you a piece of paper, an email, something that you made that reservation. Because while I was there, a lot of the people were saying that they had reservations, but they had no proof of it. Some people, well, I don't know, but nobody could show any proof, so that all of them get sent home. All right. Um, Also, if you're going to visit a family member, make sure you know the address. If you have booked an Airbnb, be able to show them the booking on the site. And if you're going to visit a family member, make sure you have an invitation letter. Family member or friend, make sure you have an invitation letter. All right. If you have all these documents, then your effort will be smooth. All right. Next thing on the list, make sure you have proof of funds. You must be able to support yourself while you're in the people in country. Now, this is one of the issues that arised out of my detention because there was a young lady there who had $2,000. She was staying there for 6 days. Her hotel was paid for. She had $2,000 to stay, and they still told her that she did not have sufficient funds to stay in the country. Like what? Like what? Anyway, make sure you have enough money. If you have your cash, make sure you have sufficient cash. If you have credit or debit card, tell them, say, have your credit or your debit card, show them. Even if, well, yeah, show them that you have your credit and debit cards, and that should be okay. If you're going to an embassy to apply for a visa, ensure that you have your bank statement, proof of employment. If you own a house, well, that is another thing there. If you own a house, make sure that you can prove to them that you have ties. Okay? All right. Moving right along. If you reached this far in the video and you liking what you're seeing, would you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, and also click that notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a video. Thank you. All right, moving right along. When you approach the immigration officer, especially for some of us who are traveling on the first time, be confident. Be honest and confident at immigration. These immigration officers are trained to spot red flags. They are trained to watch movements and see if you're being very nervous. And once you start being nervous, they're going to start thinking, what is she hiding? All right. So it is crucial for you to be honest and confident. Okay? All right, so remember to answer questions directly. Stick to the facts when asked about the purpose of your visit and your plans and your financial situation. Do not buck shuffle. All right? On a Jamaican and other people of Afro descent might understand what I mean when I say don't buck shuffle. Just be sure and confident. Practice before you go. All right. Avoid over explaining. Now, another thing, I tend to do this. This is my problem. I always have to explain, and I go on and I go on and I go on. Do not over explain. It is not necessary. State your facts and left it there. So there's no need to explain. Say, boy, say this did happen and then that did happen and Auntie Mary Charity did that. No. Just be plain and simple. This is it. This is how much money I have. This is where I'm going. This is it. If they ask you a question, answer directly. That's it. One other important detail is you must try to stay calm. Now, it's very easy for me to say that, but because it's easy to get flustered, okay? Because I think that happened to me a little bit when they started asking me for things that I was not aware of. And this is why I'm doing this video, to kind of make you aware of the little extra steps you can take to make yourself feel secure, right? Do not try, well, try to be calm. Just remember they're doing their jobs. Just try to remain calm. All right? Okay. All right, now let's move on to another topic, overcoming common challenges Jamaican face. So the older we know say they love us but they hate us. And as Jamaicans, we face a harder time, stricter scrutiny when we're applying for visas or going to people country. And we know that some of it is our fault because not for we don't know how to behave ourselves. We go there say into the people in country and feel like so we can bad them up and tell them what to do. No, 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 no. You need to be humble. We need to humble yourself. So prepare yourself. Them go ask you extra question. Don't look over there, sir. And the next lady, and them just ask her one question and she gone. Them go grill you. So be prepared to answer all these questions and have evidence to back up your what you say. Have all the evidence. If you're going, especially at a visa, if you're going over to a country to work and you're applying for a work visa, make sure say you have your work contract. If you're attending a wedding, make sure you have your wedding invitation. If you're going to somebody's funeral, make sure say you have carry a picture of the death certificate. Make sure you have everything that you need to go. Okay, if you're going up to school, make sure you have school enrollment papers and all the documents related to the school. And also, if your friend, your family, your husband, somebody invite you, make sure you have the invitation letter. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you have all your documents. Check them. Start plug them all 5 days ahead and make sure every day you get up and make sure. Right? Because you cannot be too careful. All right. Now, especially at an embassy, I don't think this would apply to just entering a country. But if you're going to to apply for a visa, make sure that you can prove that you have strong ties to Jamaica and reasons to return. This is very crucial. So the immigration officer want to know that you're not going to go over there and run off, right? So you need to provide proof of your job in Jamaica. If you own property, carry the title. If you have only per family, carry the whole of the birth certificate them. If you have dog, tell them, say, listen, I don't want to leave my dog, that's what tell them ask because you don't know so most of these people love them dogs. So tell them, say, listen, I have my dog and I can't leave. I am coming back home. You all right? So make sure you do all of that. So that's it. Before we wrap up, here are a few bonus tips. If you are going to travel, if possible, try to use a travel agent, especially if it's your first time, because there are some simple rules to traveling that you may miss the details on. Certain each country has different requirements. Most of these travel agents are aware of this. So if you are traveling, try to use a travel agency. If you're not doing it, make sure you Google. Google is your friend. Google is your friend. Research and do your research on the country you're visiting to find out what you need to go. Next thing, when you go into the airport, now me know say as Jamaicans, we have our own Jamaican time, but that don't work at the airport. Make sure you reach early. Okay? Arrive early at the airport. This will give you the time to handle any, sometimes things crop up. Like the first time we are going to Mexico, we forgot to fill out a document. We were late. We almost missed the plane. So please go early. All right? All right, now another thing you can do is to subscribe to travel forums or just follow the embassy page that you're going to. Go to the embassy page, check up on information on the country and whatever information you can get that can assist you in travel. Try and take this extra step. Last but not least, actually, this is very important. Keep copies of all your documentation, right? Take picture of them and store it digitally and keep a actual file of the thing because a lot of times you need, I have found instances where I may not have my driver's license on me, but I can use a picture of a lie. I just realized my driver's license lost, but because I have a picture of it, there were several occasions in which I could produce this picture and use it as a form of ID when I did not have another one with me present. So, not just for travel, but in life. Take a picture of all your IDs, your documentation, and put them into Google storage or wherever you join up with to make sure, say, you have a copy of these at all times. All right? So, that's it, folks. Now you can see that with the right property preparation, let my tongue a twist up. All right, so with all this new information and the right preparation, you can confidently explore the world without the fear of being turned away at the airport. Now remember, sometimes all when you prepare 90 times, 100 times, things happen. So be prepared for that as well. Make sure say you travel with extra cash or whatever else that can be a buffer in case something happens, okay? Because you never know. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post another video. And also, please leave a comment. Are there any things that you want to know about that I didn't cover in this video? Just leave a comment in the box. So, safe travels, everyone. Until next time, this is your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. Ciao.